And we are on.
Welcome back to the Unpopular Playground. In this topic area, we are going to be talking about the mentor effect, how the right role model can shortcut your struggles. And this will be shown by helping to most costly mistakes, gain clarity, build a powerful network, and accelerate your personal professional growth. Rather than replacing hard work, a mentor can provide foresight and guidance that helps you work smarter and more efficiently. A mentor can share valuable lessons from their own past failures, saving you the time from trial and error. They can provide personalized advice based on your unique goals, skills, and weaknesses so you can focus your efforts on the right strategies and skills to accelerate your progress. Mentors possess a wealth of knowledge and insights gained from years of experience, which provides shortcuts to understanding complex industry nuances. They offer objective viewpoints so you can identify blind spots and see new possibilities you may have missed. They provide emotional and mental support during times of setbacks and failures, which are an inevitable part of a journey. They can teach you effective strategies for communication and dealing with conflict resolutions in the workplace, helping to handle those challenges with grace and confidence. They're often well connected in the industry and can help you move up by meeting people you normally wouldn't have access to. They'll give you the unfiltered truth about your performance, pushing you towards growth by identifying your weaknesses and areas for improvement. They'll check in on your progress and motivate you to follow through on your goals. A mentor is somebody that will help you become the best you. A mentor is going to tell you, okay, this is not good. And it may not be something you want to hear, and you may think that I've been a mentor many times over. My thing is when you approach a person the right way and say, okay, I'm going to offer you a little advice. What you are doing here, that's good, but I'm going to show you a better way that's going to help you get further in your business, in your goals, in your future, whatever. And you have to do it in a way that you're not telling the person they suck, but you're telling them that, no, you're doing good, but I'm going to help you do it even better and get further. It's a person that you look up to. And yes, they've been doing what they're doing for many years. So, of course, they've already been through all the stepping stones to get where they are. So, following their lead, you're going to bypass all those stepping stones and pitfalls and everything else and get to where you want to be a lot faster. So, a mentor can be like your best friend, but not your best friend, and continue with your mentor throughout your time where you're working or whatever else. And always be clear with your mentor. Keep communication. Listen. That's the biggest thing. When you have a mentor, don't just be looking them blankly in the eye and be like, yeah, yeah, okay. No, listen. Listening and communication are the two biggest assets you can have with your mentor because that's where all the information is going to sink in and that's where you're going to excel. Any other ideas or thoughts, Jen?
I do, as a matter of fact. When you mentioned about listening to your mentor, it's a two-way street. God gave us two ears to listen and one mouth to speak. So that means we need to do a lot more listening than talking when you're having that mentor relationship. Talk, but you also have to not just the ears to hear, but the sense to be able to receive the information that's being told and receiving it with the intention that the person is telling you things to help you. If you're confident and you're safe that this person you chose to be your mentor is trying to help you, then anything that they have to say, you know that it's only going to be better. And in order to better yourself, it's going to hurt a little bit. Teachers are not your friends, but after so many years of going to school, the teachers who matter, the teachers who care are the ones who always tried to make you feel better. Your favorite teachers are the ones who told you what you needed to hear very often, not what you wanted to hear. Because if they had a correction, it was to help you become better. The way that you're going about it, you're not going to get anywhere and it's not acceptable. Here's some other ways that you can go about it to be awesome. And you're going to have to practice and work at it on these things. And I'm going to check your progress and I'm going to help you to become better. So I was very happy to have many students to help become better writers, better at everything that they did overall. And it was not just the lessons in the books, but it was also the lessons in between the lines and going over the meaning. So if you're a mentor, you want to make sure that there's meaning in what you're saying so that they can understand that there's a purpose. This is why you need to do this. This is why, how it's going to help you in the future so that people can make those connections on that. And it reminds me a butterfly when it's in a cocoon, if you help a butterfly to, you snip it a little bit so that you think you're helping it, you're not, because when that butterfly comes out, it has beautiful wings, but it can't fly because they need that struggle to get the fluid out of their wings in order to be able to fly. So as much as a parent as well, I am sure you, Debbie, you would agree, there's struggles that you see your students and your kids go through no matter what. And your mentor is going to have to do that too. They're going to watch you struggle and they're not going to be able to do anything. All they can do is watch. But it's your job to continue that struggle until you push through it. They will be beside you. They will be there cheering you on. They will guide you, but you have to do the work.
All right.
Cannot do it for you. And then once you come out of that to the other side, you will have real self-esteem because you did it.
Yes.
And so that's what I would have to say to that, Debbie.
They're not going to do it for you, but they're going to help you find your way to do it. They're not going to tell you this is how you have to do it. They're going to work with you so that you develop your way of doing it and getting to the point where they knew you should be, but without having to tell you, this is what you have to do. And a good mentor will follow up on you. I mean, if you're working in the same industry, they could be just checking in with your supervisor, or they could stop by your desk or your office and just be like, how's everything going? Or following your progression in the company. Like, where are you now? Oh, you've moved up from this position to that position. That's great. And maybe stop by and congratulate you. That's a good mentor. And with mentorship, the mentor has to also be able not only to give advice, but the mentor has to be able to talk and also has to be able to listen. And in that respect, when you're mentoring somebody, you have to give that person the time and the ability to ask questions, because things that you might be saying, it might be the first time this person has ever heard any of this. So you want to also give them the opportunity, by asking, do you have any questions? And feel free to ask, because I know this is your first job or whatever, but give them time, because people sometimes hate to ask questions because they don't want to look dumb. And, the only stupid question is the question that's not asked. So
Right.
you have to be able to look at their face and see, do they have a quizzical look on them, or are they really absorbing the information? And if you think that they're not really getting it, just probe a little bit until you can get them to say, well, I'm just not sure of, and then go a little bit deeper and tell them, there's nothing wrong if you're not understanding with what I'm saying. I've had years of experience in this position and you're just stepping into it. When I first started, I was like a fish out of water. I had no clue. It took me 50,000 questions before I finally was like, aha, the light bulb went off. So I'm giving you all the opportunities you need to get that light bulb to go off. So please don't ever feel like any question you ask, I'm going to be like, oh, what the hell? Ask me anything you want. And you can ask me the same question 15 times because I'm here to get you to understand what I'm saying so you can become the best part of you.
Well, right. And what I would add to that is that when that person is there, they'll be gone and you're like, oh, I wish I would have remembered to ask this. If you're a mentor, make yourself available that they
Right.
can email you or text you and things like that, or write those lists of questions down if you know that you're going to have regular meetings. So that way you don't forget to ask those questions because there's going to be a point in time in which you're going to be expected, if you're at a job, especially, you're going to be expected to be proficient at a certain point of time that they're not going to be able to baby you along the way. And if you have, like a mentorships where they somewhat become your friends, like Debbie, I would say that you're a mentor to me. You tell me exactly what I need to hear. You don't tell me what I want to hear. I think we have a beautiful relationship that and as friends. And when you share things with me, I take it in the best sense because I know that you're trying to help me.
Right.
One thing that I hate as a teacher when I had to train people and you're trying to help people and they go, yeah, I already know. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I did this way. I've been a nurse or I've been a teacher for a long time, but everywhere you go is different and people
Right.
have different cultures and a method of doing things. People that work with us, they might have done the same thing or similar jobs, but we have a certain system of doing things. And if you're going to be that close minded, you're not going to last.
No.
That's what I would add to that.
And a real mentor doesn't ever distance themselves from the person that they've mentored. That's why I was saying a real mentor will follow up, you know, whether it's stopping by your office, texting you, how's it going? A mentor never leaves and just drops the person they've mentored. When you mentor somebody, you mentor them all the way through until it gets to the point where they've achieved such greatness that they don't need you anymore. They've got it and they're soaring. Even then, you always let them know that, hey, if 5 years down the line you need advice or you've got a question or you want my opinion on something, I'm here for you. You just don't ever distance yourself or take yourself out of their life because knowing that you're there for them is the greatest thing anybody could ever have. You want to know that you've always got that person in your corner. I
And
go,
it's a great resource. Eventually, as you grow in your experience, you might become skilled in other things that you can share with your mentor, and they might ask advice from you. The first time that happens, it takes you aback a little bit
yeah,
because I was so used to looking up to the few people that were mentoring me when I was younger. And as I grew in knowledge and skill, because I'm a lifelong learner, it was very humbling for them to come to me to ask for advice on certain things. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. It just makes you feel so grown up and valuable and that you're contributing to something. You're just so happy that you're able to offer something and feel like you're contributing when people ask you things you want to help. It's your natural inclination to want to help people because they felt that you were smart enough and they felt comfortable with you to ask. And it takes a lot of guts to ask. I mean, I know some people that won't even ask for directions. So when people are able to put that aside, that they felt comfortable enough to ask me for advice or ask me for directions or something like that. And I'm not talking about the scammy people or whatever,
no,
but I'm people that just, especially younger people, if they're asking my advice on something, I'm so excited to share that with them. Or if I hear somebody that they're going into teaching, I get excited to offer, hey, if you want any ideas, advice on what, some things that might help keep you out of hot water, let me know. I leave the door open and I would like to think of this podcast as your mentors. If you don't have anybody, you can just keep coming back to this podcast. Eventually, we will offer services for personal, private, or group coaching in smaller settings. Once
Yep.
we get to that spot, we'll definitely let you know. But right now, we're just getting ourselves out there because many people don't know about us. But hopefully, if you share this podcast, you share everything that we have to offer with other people, then it'll put us out there more and we can help more people. That's
Exactly.
what I'm excited about. And we'll have more to offer. I know the title said debunking the myths. We won't have time to really go into a lot of the solutions, but we can do another podcast on how to find a mentor specifically and the red flags of who you don't want in a mentor. But a couple of the debunking myths that mentors will not just magically find you. And there's not one mentor that will check all the boxes. I love my parents, but my mom doesn't offer everything that I need. And so I come to you, Debbie.
Mm.
There's things that my mom doesn't have. And there's people in Toastmasters that offer things that, it takes a village, they say.
Yes.
So
And on
that's
that,
what I would say. Yeah.
we wish you all well. Stay curious,
Amen.
and we will in the next episode.
For December. And I don't have that on hand right now, Debbie. So everybody's just going to have to be surprised.
Yes, me as well.
Well,
All
we
right.
will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening, everybody. Bye.